Commander, something you need?
How's the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet, if you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her. Balance isn't what you'd expect. Takes a while to get used to that oversized drive core we got stuffed in the back, and her power can sneak up on you if you're not careful. The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything but average.
I like to know my crew. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
I can see where this is going. You did a background check on me, didn't you? Well, I'll tell you the same thing I told the captain. You want me as your pilot. I'm not good. I'm not even great. I am the best damn helmsman in the Alliance fleet. Top of my class in flight school, I earned that. All those commendations in my file, I earned every single one. Those weren't given to me as charity for my disease.
I'm sorry, Joker. I didn't even know you were sick.
You mean you didn't know? Oh, crap. Okay, I've got Vrolik syndrome, brittle bone disease. The bones in my legs never develop properly. They're basically hollow, too much force and they'll shatter. Even with crutches and my leg braces, it's hard to get around. One wrong step and crack! It's very dramatic, but I've learned to manage my condition, Commander. Put the Normandy in my hands and I'll make her dance for you. Just don't ask me to get up and dance unless, you like the sound of snapping shin bones.
Right, no.
Why does everyone call you Joker?
It's a lot shorter than saying Alliance Flight Lieutenant Jeff Moreau. Plus, I love to make little children laugh.
I was just thinking how much you remind me of Santa Claus.
Look, I didn't pick the name. One of the instructors in flight school used to bug me about never smiling. She started calling me Joker, and it stuck.
Why didn't you ever smile?
Hey, I worked my ass off in flight school, Commander. The world's not gonna hand you anything if you go around grinning like an idiot. By the end of the year, I was the best pilot in the academy, even better than the instructors, and everybody knew it. They'd all got their asses kicked by the sickly kid with the creaky little legs. One guess who was smiling at graduation?
How'd you end up joining the Alliance?
Look, if you're looking for an inspirational tale of the crippled kid overcoming impossible odds, you're gonna be disappointed. My mother was a civilian contractor working for the Alliance. I basically grew up on the Arcturus station back when they were building up the fleets. Spend all that time around Alliance ships, there's a good chance you'll end up going to the academy.
I have to go.
All right, see ya.
We got a new codex. Nice. Oh, can we talk with Presley now?
If anyone has to take over for Captain Anderson, I'm glad it's you. I'm not sure about having non-humans on our ship, though.
We're all on the same team here, Presley.
With all due respect, ma'am, that's what they said about Nihilus. Look how that turned out.
Speak freely, Presley. I want to know if you have a problem with non-humans.
It's not that, Commander. Humanity has always handled its own problems. Saren attacked one of our colonies. We should be the ones to stop him. We don't need their help.
Some people think asking for help is a sign of weakness. That's just being stupid and stubborn. No matter how strong you are, allies can make you stronger.
I guess so. Maybe I'm just stuck in the old ways of thinking. But don't worry, Commander, this won't be a problem.
How did you end up assigned to the Normandy?
I signed up with the Alliance as a navigator right out of school, following in my grandfather's footsteps, I guess. My first posting was on the Agincourt. We were at Elysium during the Skillian Blitz. A massive fleet of alien raiders hit the colony, trying to wipe it out. They had the numbers, but their ships were no match for an Alliance frigate. It was a slaughter. We couldn't even keep track of how many ships they lost.
How'd you end up on the Normandy?
I got my officer's commission after Elysium. Must have made an impression on the right people. Captain asked for me when he was picking his crew.
Carry on, Presley.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything back here? Ah, there's codex, I think, yeah. I just want to explore the ship for now, and we can read the codexes in a bit. Caden.
Anything you need, Commander?
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
I've wasted enough of your time for now, Commander. We'll have time for personal debriefings later.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
I don't see how we could have done things any better. At least not without getting to Eden Prime sooner. And we were on the scene faster than any other Alliance ship could have been.
We'll talk another time, Lieutenant.
Commander?
More codexes. Nice. And anything from here? Shepard's locker. Oh, nice. And more codex. 8 station replenish Metagel. Nice. Does she have anything
Yes,
new to
Commander?
say?
Is there something you need?
Doesn't
should
look
go.
like it.
Goodbye, Commander.
No one's back here. Okay. Let's head into the slowest elevator yet.
Nice ship you've got, Shepard. What can I do for you?
What's your story, Rex?
There's no story. Go ask the Quarian if you want stories.
You Krogans live for centuries. Don't tell me you haven't had a few interesting adventures.
Well, there was this one time the Turians almost wiped out our entire race. That was fun.
I heard about that. You know, they almost did the same to us.
It's not the same.
It seems pretty much the same to me.
So your people were infected with a genetic mutation? An infection that makes only a few in 1,000 children survive birth? And I suppose it's destroying your entire species?
I suppose it isn't all the same.
I don't expect you to understand, but don't compare humanity's fate with the Krogan.
Sorry, Rex. I wasn't trying to get you upset.
Your ignorance doesn't upset me, Shepard. As for the Krogan, I gave up on them long ago. The genophage infected us, but it's not what's killing us.
Are your people really dying?
We're sure not getting any stronger. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in staying in our own system.
Lots of species have left their homes and prospered.
But they go to colonize new worlds. We're not settlers. We're warriors. We want to fight. So we leave. Hire ourselves out. And most of us never go back.
What can you tell me about the genophage?
Ask the Solarians if you want details. They made it. All I know, it makes breeding nearly impossible. Thousands die in stillbirth, and most never get that far. Every Krogan is infected, every one, and no one's rushing to find a cure.
Why don't the Krogan try to find a cure?
When was the last time you saw a Krogan scientist? You ask a Krogan, would he rather find a cure for the genophage or fight for credits? He'll choose fighting every time. It's just who we are, Shepard. I can't change that. Nobody can.
So long, Rex.
Shepard.
Ah, we got another codex from that. Okay, let's figure out our equipment. So Tali mostly uses shotguns, from what I know. Let's get some ammo upgrades for her. Any armor for her? No, doesn't look like it. Rex uses also shotguns, I believe. Anything better? I mostly look for the damage per second because it's more helpful than anything else, really. As for the ammo upgrades, I don't really pay attention a whole lot to what it is, as long as like, so this is like rank 1, and then you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so forth, you know. So that's the only thing you really have to pay attention to. So far there's no armor yet for Rex. Garrus mostly uses sniper rifles, but I think this one is the best one. Yes, let's look for some ammo upgrades. Can use that. And no, nothing here yet. Let's look at R as well. Can I have this and this? Do we have anything useful? This one looks nice. Caden only uses pistols, really. This one's, oh no, this one was better. Right. Yeah, let's look at ammo upgrades. We can use that one. We don't have anything for that anymore. He can use this one. And for ammo upgrades, can give him this one. Did we give ourselves any ammo, armor upgrades, I mean? No. Maybe if we can have this. Ashley only uses assault rifles, really, so this one is best for her. Can give her that, and I don't think we have anything there, no. And then armor wise, this one is better for her. Oh, it's nice and yellow now instead of being white and red.
Commander?
What's your opinion of the last mission?
Kinda wish you'd got there sooner, Commander. No offense, I appreciate the rescue. I just wish...
You wish we'd been able to save the rest of your unit.
Yes, ma'am. If I had been more alert, we wouldn't have been cut down by an ambush.
The Geth are perfect ambushers. They don't move, they don't make noise, they don't even breathe.
They have flashlight heads, ma'am. Make sure it doesn't happen again.
Do you have a few minutes to talk? One-on-one?
I'm sorry, Commander. I need to get my duty squared away. I wouldn't mind talking more later, though.
Dismissed, Chief.
Ma'am.
More codec.
Thanks for bringing me on board, Commander. I knew working with the Spectre would be better than life at CSEC.
Have you worked with the Spectre before?
Well, no, but I know what they're like. Spectres make their own rules. You're free to handle things your way. At CSEC, you're buried by rules. The damn bureaucrats are always on your back.
For the most part, the rules are there for a reason.
Maybe. But sometimes it feels like the rules are only there to stop me from doing my work. If I'm trying to take down a suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as long as I do it.
But CSEC wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure come first. That's why I left.
So you just quit because you didn't like the way they do things?
There's more to it than that. It didn't start out bad, but as I rose in ranks, I got saddled with more and more red tape. CSEC's handling of Saren was typical. I just couldn't take it anymore. I hate leaving.
I hope you made the right choice. I'd hate for you to regret it later.
Well, that's sort of why I teamed up with you. It's a chance for me to get off the Citadel, see how things are done outside CSEC. Either way, I plan to make the most of this.
And without CSEC headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way for a change.
If getting the job done means endangering innocent people, then no. We get the job done right, not fast. Got it?
I wasn't trying to. I understand, Commander.
Who are you? Alliance Requisition Officer?
Hey, Commander. Looking for some extra supplies before you head out?
What have you got?
Whatever you want. Armor, weapons, mods. It's not standard Alliance issue, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Well, as long as you don't mind paying for it.
Why should I pay you for my weapons and armor?
My stuff doesn't come from the Alliance. I have to purchase it myself, and it's not cheap. Hell, the licenses alone have set me back more than I'd like. But no licenses, no goods. Without the goods, I'm out of a job.
What are licenses? Why do you need them?
Manufacturers sell licenses. Each license allows me to buy and sell a certain brand of products. I already have several basic ones, but you'll need to buy more if you want me to bring in different brands. Many of the best licenses are hard to get, but they're well worth the cost if you can find them.
What do the different manufacturers offer?
There are too many for me to keep track of, but each license will explain what it's good for.
What are licenses? Why do you need them?
Did I do this
Manufacturers sell licenses. I already have several basic ones. Many of the best licenses are hard to get, but they're well worth the cost if you can find them.
How often will you get new items?
Well, that depends on how many licenses you've purchased, but I'll rotate items on a regular basis regardless. And anytime we land someplace with a big enough port, I'll buy, sell, and trade whatever I can. Check back often. I need to move items quickly, so only the most basic items will be stocked consistently.
Let's see what you got.
You bet, Commander.
Let's see what you got. Anything special? Not really. But we got a codex from it, so we can read it in a bit. Open sesame, thank you. Field integrity monitor. That's Tally.
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small. I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
The Normandy's a prototype, cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space. I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
I had no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most valuable resource. But we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the Geth.
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work. Mostly. We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla, grow our own food, mine and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point. Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births, though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials?
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction. The 5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case of emergency. To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty, and they can only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts. It's a safeguard that served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
That's quite interesting to know. Especially like she said that the Quarians are only allowed to have one single child, but like what happens if they have like twins, you know? Like the parents get twins. How does the rule come into play then? Like, do they need to be adopted? Are they still only allowed to own one single child? Or like, what if they have triplets? That's like 3 times the amount that they're allowed to have. But I guess maybe it will be overruled like they said. But it must be very stressful for the Quarians to live only on the ship. They don't even have a home planet anymore, apparently.
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins, what they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
How come the Council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal. The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. 1 million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
So the Geth share brainpower?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in a group, the smarter they are.
So there's some sort of group consciousness?
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input. Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
What made them rebel?
As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
I don't see what's so bad about those questions.
The Geth were created to engage in mundane, repetitive, or dangerous manual labor. That's fine for machines, but it won't satisfy a sentient being for long. The Geth were showing signs of rudimentary self-awareness and independent thought. If the Geth were intelligent, then we were essentially using them as slaves. It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
I mean, they did kind of defend themselves because they basically created a new species, and then they started questioning about their own, like they started gaining consciousness, and the moment they did, instead of educating them and like learning or teaching them how to deal with consciousness or like what consciousness even is, they just panicked and basically wanted to abort everything and cause genocide to the thing that they created.
Hey, you can't blame them for fighting for their survival.
We had no other choice. The Geth were already on the verge of revolution. By acting quickly, we had a chance to end the war before it began. The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld. We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the Veil. Now we drift through space, exile, searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
Can a captain choose to reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when the gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift. It's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
I should go.
See you later.
It's interesting though to hear Tali's side of the story with the Quarians and the Geth, because like the only way how you can properly see her side of the story, the reason why she's so defensive about what they did was the right choice is because over time the story gets like watered down, right? So like this was the revolution with like the Geth and the Quarians was over 200 years ago by now, and if you tell someone how an event went and they tell the story to someone else and they tell the story to someone else, eventually information is going to get added or removed just to make their side of the story seem more believable, but also like so that other people could have more understanding of it better, or make them feel like the Quarians were the ones being attacked instead of the Geth. But at the same time, we don't truly know what happened exactly or precisely with the two of them.
Hey, Commander, you know that Quarian, Tali? She's been spending all her time down here asking me about our engines.
I'll tell her to leave you alone.
What? No, she's amazing. I wish my guys were half as smart as she is. Give her a month on board and she'll know more about our engines than I do. She's got a real knack for technology, that one. I can see why you wanted her to come along.
I figured she'd be a real asset to the team.
You got an eye for talent, Commander, but I'm guessing that's not why you came down here.
Fill me in on the IES stealth system. How does it work exactly?
You can't hide a ship out in space. They emit too much heat and radiation. Too easy for sensors to pick them up, unless you find a way to capture those emissions. So our stealth systems trap the energy we give off in storage sinks built into the ship itself. No emissions to give away our location. Eventually the sinks have to be vented. More than a few hours silent running and they overheat. Cook us inside our own hull.
There's no way for anyone to detect us?
A visual scan can still pick us up. Anyone looking out a window can see us plain as day. But you have to be pretty close to get an actual visual out in space. Most vessels rely on scanners. As long as the stealth systems are engaged, they can't see us. Not unless we accelerate to FTL speeds.
Why doesn't it work with faster-than-light travel?
Cranking up to FTL blue shifts our emissions, pushes them into frequencies too high to capture in the sinks. As soon as we make the jump, it's like setting off a flare. Sensors can pick up our location whenever we enter or exit FTL flight, but for short-range missions, our stealth systems are amazing, and we've got the only one.
Where else have you served, Adams?
If you name a class of Alliance ship, I've probably served on it. Everything from dreadnoughts and carriers right down to frigates like the Normandy. My last assignment was on the Tokyo, only a cruiser, but she was a good ship. Couldn't hold a candle to the Normandy, though.
I want to know more about the Normandy.
She's the best ship I've ever served on, probably the fastest vessel ever designed. And she's the only one using the new Tantalus drive core.
What's so special about the Tantalus drive core?
Proportionally, it's about twice the size of any other vessel. Not only are we faster, we can run at FTL speeds longer before we have to discharge the core.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Also, another thing that I found quite funny about Mass Effect is that they kind of categorize every species into like a job description, almost. Like Solarians are the scientists, Quarians are like engineers, Turians are military people, the Asari are almost looked upon as like leaders, and so forth, you know? Let's check out some of the codexes and journal. Nothing really here that happened, but we do have this.
The Citadel. Citadel space is an unofficial term referring to any region of space controlled by a species that acknowledges the authority of the Citadel Council. At first glance, it appears this territory encompasses most of the galaxy. In reality, however, less than 1% of the stars have been explored. Even Mass Effect FTL drive is slow relative to the volume of the galaxy. Empty space and systems without suitable drive discharge sites are barriers to exploration. Only the mass relays allow ships to jump hundreds of light years in an instant, the key to expanding across an otherwise impassable galaxy. Whenever a new relay is activated, the destination system is rapidly developed. From that hub, FTL drive is used to expand to nearby star clusters. The result is a number of densely developed clusters, thinly spread across the vast expanse of space, connected by the mass relay network.
That's insane to realize only less than 1% of the stars have been explored. Jesus.
Faster-than-light drives use element zero cores to reduce the mass of the ship, allowing higher rates of acceleration. This effectively raises the speed of light within the Mass Effect field, allowing high-speed travel with negligible relativistic time dilation effects. Starships still require conventional thrusters, chemical rockets, commercial fusion torch, economy ion engine, or military anti-proton drive, in addition to the FTL drive core. With only a core, a ship has no motive power. The amount of ESO and power required for a drive increases exponentially to the mass being moved and the degree it is being lightened. Very massive ships, or very high speeds, are prohibitively expensive. If the field collapses while the ship is moving at faster than light speed, the effects are catastrophic. The ship is snapped back to sublight velocity, the enormous excess energy shed in the form of lethal Cherenkov radiation.
Yikes.
Larger warships are generally classified in one of four weights. Frigates are small, fast ships used for scouting and screening of larger vessels. Frigates often operate in wolf pack flotillas. Cruisers are middleweight combatants, faster than dreadnoughts and more heavily armed than frigates. Cruisers are the standard patrol unit and often lead frigate flotillas. Dreadnoughts are kilometer-long capital ships mounting heavy, long-range firepower. They are only deployed for the most vital missions. Carriers are dreadnought-sized vessels that also carry large numbers of fighters. Smaller vessels are almost exclusively used in a support role to the warships during combat. Fighters are one-man craft used to perform close-range attacks on enemy ships. Interceptors are one-man craft optimized for destroying opposing fighters. The Normandy is a prototype starship developed by the Human Systems Alliance with the assistance of the Citadel Council. It is optimized for scouting and reconnaissance missions in unstable regions using state-of-the-art stealth technology. For most ships, the heat generated through standard operations is easily detectable against the absolute zero background of space. The Normandy, however, is able to temporarily sink this heat within the hull. Combined with refrigeration of the exterior hull, the ship can travel undetected for hours or drift passively for days of covert observation. This is not without risk. The stored heat must eventually be radiated, or it will build to levels capable of cooking the crew alive.
Yikes.
Another component of the stealth system is the Normandy's revolutionary Tantalus drive, a mass effect core twice the standard size. The Tantalus drive generates mass concentrations that the Normandy falls into, allowing it to move without the use of heat-emitting thrusters. The Mako infantry fighting vehicle was designed for the System Alliance's frigates. Though the interior is cramped, an M35 is small enough to be carried in the cargo bay and easily deployed on virtually any world. With its turreted 155mm mass accelerator and coaxially mounted machine gun, the Mako can provide a fire team with weapon support as well as mobility. Since Alliance Marines may be required to fight on any world, the Mako is environmentally sealed and equipped with microthrusters for use on low-gravity planetoids. The Mako is powered by a sealed hydrogen-oxygen fuel cell and includes a small Element Zero core. While not large enough to nullify the vehicle's mass, the core can reduce it enough to be safely airdropped. When used in conjunction with thrusters, it also allows the Mako to extricate itself from difficult terrain. Faster-than-light drives use Element Zero. Biotics is when subjected to an electrical current, the rare material dubbed Element Zero, or EZO, emits a dark energy field that raises or lowers the mass of all objects within it. This mass effect is used in countless ways, from generating artificial gravity to manufacturing high-strength construction materials. It is most prominently used to enable faster-than-light space travel. EZO is generated when solid matter, such as a planet, is affected by the energy of a star going supernova. The material is common in the asteroid debris that orbits neutron stars and pulsars. These are dangerous places to mine, requiring extensive use of robotics, telepresence, and shielding to survive the incredible radiation from the dead star. Only a few major corporations can afford the setup costs required to work these primary sources. Humanity discovered refined Element Zero at the Prothean Research Station on Mars, allowing them to create mass effect fields and develop FTL travel. Element Zero can increase or decrease the mass of a volume of space-time when subjected to an electrical current. With a positive current, mass is increased. With a negative current, mass is decreased. The stronger the current, the greater the magnitude of the dark energy mass effect. In space, low-mass fields allow FTL travel and inexpensive surface-to-orbit transit. High-mass fields create artificial gravity and push space debris away from vessels. In manufacturing, low-mass fields permit the creation of evenly blended alloys, while high-mass compaction creates dense, sturdy construction materials. The military makes extensive use of mobility-enhancing technologies, with Mass Effect utilizing fighting vehicles standard frontline issue in most military forces. Mass Effect fields are also essential in the creation of kinetic barriers or shields to protect against enemy fire. Omni-tools are handheld devices that combine a computer microframe, sensor analysis pack, and manufacturing fabricator. Versatile and reliable, an Omni-tool can be used to analyze and adjust the functionality of most standard equipment, including weapons and armor, from a distance. The fabrication module can rapidly assemble small three-dimensional objects from common reusable industrial plastics, ceramics, and light alloys. This allows for field repairs and modifications to most standard items, as well as the reuse of salvaged equipment. Omni-tools are standard issue for soldiers and first-in colonists. Combat Heart, a mass accelerator, propels a solid metal slug using precisely controlled electromagnetic attraction and repulsion. The slug is designed to squash or shatter on impact, increasing the energy it transfers to the target. If this were not the case, it would simply punch a hole right through, doing minimal damage. Accelerator design was revolutionized by Element 0. A slug lightened by a Mass Effect field can be accelerated to greater speeds, permitting projectile velocities that were previously unattainable. If accelerated to a high enough velocity, a simple paint chip can impact with the same destructive force as a nuclear weapon. However, mass accelerators produce recoil equal to their impact energy. This is mitigated somewhat by the Mass Effect fields that rounds are suspended within. But weapon recoil is still the prime limiting factor on slug velocity.
Any secondary? Oof, there are a bunch. We got the Korean economy. The migrant fleet has little economic base, operating in a state of perpetual hand-to-mouth, while Korean ships include light manufacturing and assembly plants. They lack heavy industries such as refining and shipbuilding. The fleet has tankers for water purification and oxygen cracking. But the space-intensive nature of agriculture limits food production. A single disaster could destroy the fragile balance. The Koreans earn income in creative ways because the government is obliged to provide food, water, air, and medical support for every individual. The Conclave strategically determines the course of the fleet to bring in resources and income. A species who suspects the migrant fleet is heading towards their space often offers a gift of surplus starships, fuel, and resources to convince the Conclave to alter course. As the fleet passes through a system, swarms of mining vessels work over asteroids for metals and siliceous materials. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. And cometary bodies for water, ice, and organics. Korean miners are adept at locating and strip mining spaceborne resources. This sparks conflict with corporations already working the system. Large mining concerns spend millions on lobbyists and public relations, portraying the Koreans as locusts, devouring the resources of a system before moving on. The greatest asset of the Koreans is their rarefied skills. Most are experienced miners. Due to their life of perpetual salvage and repair, they are skilled engineers and technicians. More than once, the very corporations that lobby against the Koreans have made backroom deals with the fleet, arranging for skilled Quarians to fill space engineering jobs that other species would demand higher wages for. Quarians are widely hated among the working class. The Quarians are coming to take our jobs is a common response to the fleet's approach. Yikes. They're very racist against the Quarians. The government, due to the Quarians' precarious existence and the need to enforce strict rationing, government is somewhat autocratic. The migrant fleet's operations are directed by the Admiralty, a board of 5 military officers who are advised by a legislative body called the Conclave. Each vessel in the fleet has the right to send representatives to the Conclave aboard the flagship. The number of representatives is based on crew size. Larger clans with bigger ships and more votes from the cores of political blocs. Opposition comes from the Outriders coalition with delegates from thousands of smaller ships. The Admiralty defers to the Conclave's decision in most circumstances. However, if all 5 members agree that a Conclave decision jeopardizes the survival of the fleet and cannot get the Conclave to address their concerns, they have the right to summarily overturn the legislative decision. After the Admiralty uses this extraordinary power, they must resign. If the Admiralty does not step down after using their veto, the rest of the military is obliged to arrest them. Each ship captain has authority over his vessel, but is advised by an elected civilian council, just as the Admiralty is advised by the Conclave. This relationship may range from cooperation to polite tolerance to outright hostility, but any captain who overrules his council without a good reason is relieved of command by the Admiralty. Many Quarian ships are owned by clans who pool their resources to purchase used vessels from private sellers. Large ships are prestigious for big, rich clans, but a small ship means status for a small clan with enough personal wealth to afford a private vessel. Clan vessel captains are not subject to dismissal by the Admiralty. Abusive captains are family problem if they do not disrupt the operations of the fleet. There's so much context. The migrant fleet is the largest concentration of star-faring vessels in the galaxy, sprawling across millions of kilometers. It can take days for the entire fleet to pass through a mass relay. When the Quarians fled their homeworld, the fleet was a motley aggregation of freighters, shuttles, industrial vessels, and the odd warship. After 3 centuries, all have been modified to support larger crews as comfortably as possible. As the Quarians achieved stability, they began weeding out the ships least suitable for long-term habitation, selling them and pooling the money to buy larger and more space-worthy hulls. This process is ongoing as vessels wear out and break down. While some ships enjoy dedicated cabins with full privacy and sanctuary facilities. Many more are former freighters whose cargo bays and containers are pressurized and divided into family spaces using simple metal cubicle bulkheads. The Koreans enlivening these austere spaces with colorful quilts and tapestries, which also helps muffle sound. The day-to-day operations of the fleet, traffic control, station keeping, supply distribution, and so on are under military jurisdiction. Those ship captains have the authority to deviate from their assigned positions and may leave the fleet at any time. They are assumed to do their own risk. As the migrant fleet moves around the galaxy, many ships split off to pursue individual goals, returning days or years later. There's so much more. Maybe we should only do this one and then move on with like some missions. So, Humanity and System Alliance, and 7. The Alliance military functional code system classifies the career path of all serving personnel. The MVC consists of one letter and one number. A soldier's MVC indicates proficiency, not rank. The letter notes career path. The number indicates level of experience. As indicated by service record, technical scores, and commendations. All 26 letters are used and numbers run from 1 to 7. N is the letter code for Special Forces personnel. We can read these ones later on and just do some mission stuff, because I feel like that will be interesting instead of only spending our time on codexes. We got some more points, I see. We could put some point in our warp and put one in Perry and then keep one just in case. Let's go to the galaxy map. So this is the Milky Way, and here are all of the different clusters that we can go into. So here it says Pharos is here, Liara, asteroid X57. I think that's actually a DLC that we have. And Novaria. Let's go to Liara first. I think we can go and explore all of these and eventually find out in which one she is exactly. Bye, Citadel. It just shows like information about the planet. So this planet is a dwarf planet composed of light, magnesium, silicates with deposit of aluminum. Most of the time it just describes what the planet is really, or like what it has, if we can get anything from it or not. Like it says here, a collection of small Siliuses, I don't know how to pronounce it, that asteroids loosely bound together by gravity. Prothean data disk recovered. While scanning the asteroid field in the Sparta system, you find signs of habitation. A recon team was sent to investigate one of the larger asteroids. The rock had a small functioning biodome, but no signs of anyone still living there. There was, however, a data console with an intact Prothean data disk inside. Nice.
Commander, I'm picking up a signal from the planet's surface. It looks like an automated distress beacon.
We can land in a bit. Let's discover more of these planets. Nothing here. Do you have anything? Oh, survey. Gas deposit surveyed. Scans from orbit have detected a large concentration of hydrogen. And then here, another one. Rare element surveyed. Scans from orbit have detected a small deposit of plutonium. Is there anything in this asteroid cluster? Or asteroid ring, it should say. No, doesn't look like it. So we can land here. We can take Tali. Most of the time it's handy to take Tali for every planet that you go to, mainly for the decryption and that kind of stuff. And we can take Carrot. Looks like a desert planet. Also, if you guys want, there's like a map of the whole planet. So it says like this is a distress signal, this is an anomaly, and debris. But if you want, you can just look up the planet name and then add map on Google. So you would say Atlas a map. Then you can get like more precise like locations of stuff that you can find. Most of the time it's just resources that give you a lot of money. Pressure Mars are fucking terrifying. They're really creepy. And you have to like jump to avoid their attacks. Oh no. And now the tentacles are out, so you have to try and defeat them. Whilst also having to drive because the pressure Mars like chasing you. It's so terrifying and stress inducing. There we go. We got him. Always gives me so much stress whenever I have to do that.
Alliance soldiers. Looks like they were lured here by the distress beacon.
Looks like these men were under Admiral Kahoku's command. We'd want to know what happened here.
Oh, we found this man. Ah, no. We can head here. Do I repair actually? Key bindings. Does it say? No. Repairs are okay. There we go. What's that? Mummified Salarian? ID tag recovered. You found Captain Mylan's identification tag. How it ended up here is impossible to know for sure. Oh, our journal got updated. Maybe it says it? UNC missing Serenes. You found the dead bodies of men who served under Admiral Kahoku, returned to the Citadel, and informed the Admiral of their fate. UNC Prothean data disk. You discovered one of the sought after data disk. Keep searching until you've collected them all. So we have to collect 7 of them so far. We only have 1. UNC valuable minerals. Keep searching for more elements and minerals as you travel. Survey any that you find. We have to find light metals, heavy metals, rare earths, and gases. And UNC locate signs of battle. There are several League of One medallions and a few ID tags scattered throughout these systems. The hunt must have been extensive and taken years. We have to find 10 League medallions and 3 Salarian ID tags. I'll do.
On my way.
Sometimes I just try to spam it and get it. Well, we could try again. There we go. So like I have the map in front of me right now, and as it just showed up on the map down there, there is another icon of which we can find out what it is. I personally like having the map because it saves time from having to explore the whole planet, because it kind of takes away the time of like the main events that are happening in the game. Like, this is only a thing in the first Mass Effect game. You don't have to do any of this anymore later on. It gets repetitive quite fast. I think I'm gonna speed up most of these and only like do or like show you guys when something important or like lore based is happening. We leveled up. Nice. Oh, we're spinning. Oh, there's something smoking there. We get out and inspect it? Or is it just for show? I'm guessing it's just for show. Okay, let's return to the Normandy and look at the other systems. Let's go to Macedon. We can land here. Let's explore a bit first. Survey. Matriarch's writing recovered. You were scanning the planet Porolan when a strange signal came from orbit. Navigator Presley determined the signal was from an ancient beacon. Your salvage team brought the beacon aboard and found one of the Matriarch Dilanaga's writings in its storage compartment. Nice. I'm guessing that's another thing we have to collect, probably. Gas deposit. Scans from orbit have detected a large concentration of xenon. Nice. Anything in the asteroid? Yes. Light metal. Oh, that's what we needed. Nice. While scanning this asteroid field in the Artemis Tau cluster, you detected a large deposit of titanium. Okay, let's land here. can get Dolly and Rex now. Ah, by the way, can I level them up as well? Oh, I got more points. Oh yeah, because I leveled up. Never mind. Earth Nox. We can put point in Krogan Battlemaster. Unlock Fro, give him that. Give him stasis. We can level out his barrier. And we can put a point in there for overkill. Holly. Oh, we can put more points in decryption and AI hacking. And we can finish it. Oh no, never mind, we couldn't finish it. I thought we may had enough points for that. Okay, journal. Locate signs of battle. These are... Oh no, we did that. Okay. And then Asari writings. These writings belong to Matriarch Delinaga. It looks like there are many other writings to be found, scattered across the galaxy. Okay, so these are the main 3 points that we see here. But I'm gonna go make an easier path to explore everything. Again, I'm gonna just speedrun it. It looks like this is the place. An Asari capsule. Okay. Matrix writing. It's not clear who lived here, but it appears to have been abandoned for some time. The container is in the tent held, among other things, one of Matriarch Delinaga's writings. I think that's it. Yeah. Okay. Let's... What is the next step? Looks like there's a thing above. Ah, yeah. That will show us on the map. This thing right in front of us. And then we can head to the main mission that is on this planet. Thorium. I can't really see them though. The turning is so obnoxious. So slow. Feels like we're barely doing anything. It says there's one more here. Right there. It's kind of overkill to bomb them from their place. Oh, looks like there are more people looking to be killed.
Go, go, go!
Ah, they're just flanking immediately. Or like... to shoot through. Could be up there, but it doesn't. There we go. Maybe if we just sprint our way here. There you go. Okay, let's check everything out. Because I saw something here. Oh, there's something there. Oh, he got that? Maybe from the other side? Yeah. Can I got up? Oh, I got it. Just Medical. Anything else further down? Thank you. Wrong button. Thing down here. No. There is a door here though. Oh, thank you. Ah, I almost had it. There we go. You discover evidence that the Asari leading these slavers are Nasana Dentius An important ambassador on the Citadel. Our sisters. You should return to the Presidium and confront Nasana with this. Oh. And I think that's all for here. We can go to our final place, which is here. So annoying sometimes. Because it controls weirdly. Anyway, that was it for this planet at least. Let's look at our journal. Liara. Somewhere in the Artemis Tower. It doesn't give any specific place really. Here. We got free oxygen. Oxygen for free. There's nothing in the astro belt. Helium free. Nice. Turian insignia recovered. Scans of the planet Pharos revealed an abandoned base on its moon. The recon team found nothing of interest, but much of the debris was marked with the Magna Colony insignia. Did we miss it? I got you. I got you. Did I miss you? No, I got you. I think I missed you. Never mind, there's no planet here that I can land on. Okay. And of course, it's the last one that we choose, where she must be at. That's on me. Anything in the bell? Oh! Yeah, survey. Platinum. Barum. Looks like this is it. Sacros doesn't have anything. What about you? Nope. Anything in this belt? So annoying to do this. Ah, there we go. Survey. Oh, a medallion recovered. Scans of the asteroid field in the Knossos system revealed some strange readings. Upon closer inspection, Navigator Presley discovered the remains of an abandoned Salarian fighter. The only thing of interest on board was a league of one medallion. Oh wait, I forgot about one planet. Nitrogen, thank you. Here we go to Ferrum. Who shall we bring? Oh, by the way, as you guys maybe know, I like the aliens more than the humans because it's a space game, right? So I feel like it would be more interesting to add or play with like aliens more than with human beings. That's just my opinion. But we can bring maybe Ashley along. I don't know, I'll just bring Rex and maybe not Rex, Paris.
Commander, I'm picking up some strange readings. Really strange, like off the damn charts. It looks like it's coming from an underground complex a few clicks away from the drop zone.
We have to be careful that we're not gonna drive into the lava. Oh! I heard something in the distance. Like, what? Oh. They're gas, but like big version? Armature, they're called. And they give out electric shocks. I think there are electric shocks. At least I just run one over. Oh no. I keep forgetting the buttons properly. Turrets, it looks like. Oh, we got them at least. Oh.
Trying to knock down the front door seems stupid. Maybe we could find the side window?
This one's still alive? Oh shit. It's so close by. There we go. You did it. But it looks like there's still a bunch here. Ah, fuck. The jump and reload in time. Oh, they're two behind us. Is that all? Let's work somewhere safe. Just don't go up it. I swear the controls of the Mako are something special, to say the least. Can never have enough loot, in my opinion. Our enemy looks like. Yeah. I missed. One, two. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you. Is anything here? Oh, gate control. But that's for the front. Let's get the Mako and drive a bit further. Anything behind here, maybe?
On my way.
No, it doesn't look like it. Ah, but I do have more. Yeah. Assassination. Barrier and row. So now we have. Oh no, we already have row. There we go. So now we have 5 more stuff. Like there's something. Doop, 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 doop. Thank you. Anything in here? No. Maybe the other side. Looks like there's an enemy inside at least, so... There we go. Thank you. And the gate control is also here. So now we can go further. There's another one of those big ones. There we go, we got him. I can see there are more up ahead. There you go. Oh, it's back. Did it drop off? Yep, it dropped off more stuff. There we got them. And we got them. And we still got his spot. My fault. Like there's more ahead. Yeah. What are you trying to do? Have to cool down. Is this one bigger? It looks like it is. Yeah, it's colossal. There we go. Just ragdoll. Oh, wrong button. Oh, I got it already. Kept shooting for nothing. Is there anything here? Doesn't necessarily look like it. Oh, we leveled up again. Can't drive further. I'm guessing we have to get out. Is there anything I can give? Master Unity. What else should I get? Put a few points and keep one just in case. Oh, there's a lot for Garrus. Let's do this so we can get electronic and level that up. Level all of that. Do that. Okay. Tally. Can do more detection and AI. There we go. Oh, hold on, my eye is really itchy. Okay, let's go.
Enemy contact.
Can we get that? Does that count? One there. There you go. Oh, there's another one. There were two. I didn't even see that. I thought I was rolling one.
Perimeter secured.
That's it. Nothing? Just a passage?
Enemy contact.
There's one up there.
We got them all, Shepard.
Yeah. Oh, but it looks like that. There you go. Nothing here.
All targets down.
Something here. Yeah. Oh, I hate these so much. They're so annoying.
Enemy sighted.
So most of the time it's best to just get the stalkers first, because they are obnoxious to say the least. So, looks like there's someone there. Ah, Tully died. What? Oh, I put on free.
This should slow them down.
Doesn't look like we can attack the armature. And you're blocked, so I'm the only one who can attack him, really. Oh, we got him. One shot. Oh, and there's someone up there. It's like there's someone here still. But it looks like we got it.
Clear.
Yeah. Let's heal up a bit for Tali mainly. Just a black hole. Okay. Looks like we can go down here. Do we run faster with the gun than without? Well, we can't test that now because we're out of stamina. There you go.
Jammers online.
There we go.
I think we're good, Shepard.
It looks like we run faster if we hold a gun than if we don't, which is funny. Because normally I feel like it's the other way around.
This cavern formed around the ruin after it was built.
Oh, you got interrupted. Oh, I hate it when that happens. Not awkward at all. Don't mind me staring at you, Gary. Oh, there is. Nice. The hiccups going on. I have that randomly from time to time.
Most Prothean ruins have nothing more than dead instrumentation.
Sorry about that. Oh no. The elevator broke.
Hello? Could somebody help me? Please? Can you hear me out there? I'm trapped. I need help.
Are you okay? What happened to you?
Listen, this thing I'm in is a Prothean security device. I cannot move, so I need you to get me out of it, all right?
Your mother is working with Saren. Whose side are you on?
What? I am not on anybody's side. I may be Benezia's daughter, but I'm nothing like her.
I have not spoken to her in years. Please, just get me out of here.
How did you end up in there?
I was exploring the ruins when the Geth showed up, so I hid in here. Can you believe that? Geth beyond the veil! I activated the tower's defenses. I knew the barrier curtains would keep them out. When I turned it on, I must have hit something I wasn't supposed to. I was trapped in here. You must get me out, please!
We'll find some way to help you.
There is a control in here that should deactivate this thing. You'll have to find some way past the barrier curtain. That's the tricky part. The defenses cannot be shut off from the outside. I don't know how you'll get in here. Be careful. There is a Krogan with the Geth. They have been trying different ways to get past the barrier.
So we need to find a way to get her out of there. Oh no. And a Krogan is also trying to look for her. I'm guessing he's with Saren as well. Is that all?
Think we're good, Commander?
Ah, thank you, Sally, for letting me know. Oh, there is something. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Oh no, it's this again. Oh, we actually got it. I like how we ran in the air. Don't question it, this game design.
How did you get in here? I didn't think there was any way past the barrier.
We have to get you out of here before more Geth arrive.
Yes, you're right. I've seen enough of them to last a lifetime. That button should shut down my containment field.
Any idea how we get out of this place?
There is an elevator back in the center of the tower. At least I think it's an elevator. It should take us out of here. Come on! I still cannot believe all this. Why would the Geth come after me? Do you think Benezia's involved?
Saren's looking for the conduit. You're a Prothean expert. He probably wants you to help him find it.
The conduit? But I don't know...
What the hell was that?
These ruins are not stable. That mining laser must have triggered a seismic event. We have to hurry. The whole place is caving in.
Joker, get the Normandy airborne and lock in on my signal. On the double, mister!
Aye, aye, Commander. Secure and away. ETA 8 minutes.
He needs to move faster.
Hello, Dolly. We play as Dolly now. Dolly and Garrus were just having a conversation.
Surrender. Or don't. That would be more fun.
In case you didn't notice, this place is falling apart.
Exhilarating, isn't it? Thanks for getting rid of those energy fields for us. Hand the doctor over.
Whatever it is you want, you are not getting it from me.
She'll stay with us, thanks.
Not an option. Saren wants her, and he always gets what he wants. Kill him. Spare the Asari if you can. If not, doesn't matter.
That was fast.
Too close, Commander. 10 more seconds we would have been swimming in molten sulfur. The Normandy isn't equipped to land in exploding volcanoes. They tend to fry our sensors and melt our hull. Just for future reference.
We almost died out there, and your pilot is making jokes?
Joker pulled our asses out of there. I think he's earned the right to a few bad jokes.
I see. It must be a human thing. I don't have a lot of experience dealing with your species, Commander. But I am grateful to you. You saved my life back there, and not just from the volcano. Those Geth would have killed me or dragged me off to Saren.
What did Saren want with you? Do you know something about the conduit?
Only that it was somehow connected to the Prothean extinction. That is my real area of expertise. I have spent the past 50 years trying to figure out what happened to them.
Just how old are you exactly?
I hate to admit it, but I am only 106.
Damn! I hope I look that good when I'm your age.
A century may seem like a long time to a short-lived species like yours, but among the Asari, I am barely considered more than a child. That is why my research has not received the attention it deserves. Because of my youth, other Asari scholars tend to dismiss my theories on what happened to the Protheans.
I've got my own theory on why the Protheans disappeared.
With all due respect, Commander, I have heard every theory out there. The problem is finding evidence to support them. The Protheans left remarkably little behind. It is almost as if someone did not want the mystery solved. It is like someone came along after the Protheans were gone and cleansed the galaxy of clues. But here is the incredible part. According to my findings, the Protheans were not the first galactic civilization to mysteriously vanish. This cycle began long before them.
Where'd you come up with this theory? I thought there wasn't any evidence.
I have been working on this for 50 years. I have tracked down every scrap and shred of evidence. Eventually, subtle patterns start to emerge, patterns that hint at the truth. It is difficult to explain to someone else. I cannot point to one specific thing to prove my case. It is more a feeling derived from a half-century of dedicated research. But I know I'm right, and eventually I will be able to prove it. There were other civilizations before the Protheans. This cycle has repeated itself many times over.
If the Protheans weren't the first, then who was?
I don't know. There is barely any evidence on the Protheans, even less on those who came before them. I cannot prove my theory, but I know I am right. The galaxy is built on a cycle of extinction. Each time a great civilization rises up, it is suddenly and violently cast down. Only ruins survive. The Protheans rose up from a single world until their empire spanned the entire galaxy. Yet even they climbed to the top on the remains of those who came before. Their greatest achievements, the mass relays and the Citadel, are based on the technology of those who came before them. And then, like all the other forgotten civilizations throughout galactic history, the Protheans disappeared.
I have dedicated my life to figuring out why.
They were wiped out by a race of sentient machines, the Reapers.
The Reapers? But I have never heard of. How do you know this? What evidence do you have?
There was a damaged Prothean beacon on Eden Prime. It burned a vision into my brain. I'm still trying to sort out what it all means.
Visions? Yes, that makes sense. The beacons were designed to transmit information directly into the mind of the user. Finding one that still works is extremely rare. No wonder the Geth attacked Eden Prime. The chance to acquire a working beacon, even a badly damaged one, is worth almost any risk. But the beacons were only programmed to interact with Prothean physiology. Whatever information you received would have been confused, unclear. I am amazed you were able to make sense of it at all. A lesser mind would have been utterly destroyed by the process. You must be remarkably strong-willed, Commander.
This isn't helping us find Saren, or the conduit.
Of course, you're right. I am sorry, my scientific curiosity got the better of me. Unfortunately, I do not have any information that could help you find the conduit, or Saren.
I don't know why Saren wanted you out of the picture, but I think we'll be a lot better off if we bring you along.
Thank you, Commander. Saren might come after me again. I cannot think of anywhere safer than here on your ship. And my knowledge of the Protheans might be useful later on.
And her biotics will come in handy when the fighting starts.
Good to have you on the team, Liara.
Thank you, Commander. I am very grateful. Oh, I am afraid I am feeling a bit lightheaded.
When was the last time you ate, or slept? Dr. Chakwa should take a look at you.
It is probably just mental exhaustion, coupled with the shock of discovering the Protheans' true fate. I need some time to process all this. Still, it could not hurt to be examined by a medical professional. It will give me the chance to think things over. Are we finished here, Commander?
We can talk again after you've seen the doctor. The rest of you, dismissed.
Mission reports are filed, Commander. You want me to patch you through to the Council?
Patch him through, Joker.
Setting up the link now, Commander.
We've received your report, Commander. I understand Dr. Tassoni is on the Normandy.
I assume you're taking the necessary security precautions.
Liara's on our side. The Geth were trying to kill her.
Benezia would never allow Saren to kill her daughter.
Maybe she doesn't know.
Or maybe we don't know her. We never expected she could become a traitor.
At least the mission was a success.
Apart from the utter destruction of a major Prothean ruin. Was that really necessary, Shepard?
The Geth were crawling all over those ruins. We were lucky to make it out alive.
Of course, Commander. The mission must always take priority.
Good luck, Commander. Remember, we are all counting on you.
Got some more codexes. Most of the time, whenever a mission like this has been done, it's nice to go to Joker because sometimes he has something funny to say.
I prefer gold to silver, you know, for my medal. I figured you'd recommend me for one since I pulled your boots out of the fire.
If we present you with a medal, you'll end up sitting on stage listening to politicians make speeches for a couple of hours.
That's a good point. They'd probably make me shave, too. I spent the last 7 weeks working on this baby. No medal's worth that. So, Commander, why don't you tell me why you're really here?
I have to go.
Alright, see you.
Alright, see you. Alright, alright. Can we see where she is? It doesn't really say, right? I think she is Liara. We can replenish. Hello, Chakwa.
Commander, are you coming to check up on me?
You look much better. How are you feeling?
Dr. Chakwas assures me I am going to be fine. I was impressed with her knowledge of Asari physiology.
You're in good hands. Dr. Chakwas knows what she's doing.
I never properly thanked you for saving me from the Geth, Commander. If you hadn't shown up,
I'm just glad we got there in time.
So am I. I know you took a chance bringing me aboard this ship. I have seen the way your crew looks at me. They do not trust me. But I am not like Benezia. I will do whatever I can to help you stop Saren. I promise.
Don't worry, Liara. I trust you. I know you won't let me down.
It means a lot to hear you say that, Commander. Thank you.
Do you know why Benezia joined up with Saren?
I don't understand it. She was always outspoken about the need for the Asari to become more involved in shaping galactic events. Maybe she thought allying herself with Saren would somehow be for the greater good in the long run. At least I hope so.
This hurts you, doesn't it?
None of this makes any sense to me. I have not spoken to Benezia in many years, but I know her, and this was not like her. Something changed.
I'd like to know more about the Asari.
We were the first species to discover the Citadel. We were instrumental in forming the Council, and we always strive to be the voice of peaceful cooperation in galactic disputes. My people believe we are all part of a single galactic community. Each species contributes something to the greater whole. Although we seek to understand other species, it seems few of them seek to understand us. The galaxy is filled with rumors and misinformation about my people.
Like what?
Most of the inaccuracies are centered around our mating rituals. My species is monogendered. Male and female have no real meaning for us. We still require a partner to reproduce. This second parent, however, may be of any species and any gender.
I don't understand. Your species can mate with anyone?
Mating is not quite the proper term, not as you understand it. Physical contact may or may not be involved, but it is not an essential element of the union. The true connection is mental. Our physiology allows us to meld with other beings. We can touch the very depths of their minds. We explore the genetic memory of their species. We share the most basic elements of their individual and racial identities. We then pass these traits on to our daughters. It is how we learn to grow as a species and how we develop a greater understanding of other races.
What happens to your partner after the union?
Every relationship is different. Some unions are a single encounter with both parents parting ways afterwards. Others can be more long-term. Sometimes an Asari and her partner will stay together for many decades.
Do you know who Matriarch Benezia chose as her partner?
She rarely spoke of her partner. Though I know my father, if you want to use that term, was another Asari.
Benezia never told you her partner's name?
Union with our own kind is no longer common. Not for the purposes of reproduction. Most Asari believe it weakens our species. Asari daughters inherit racial traits from the father species. If both parents are Asari, then nothing has been gained, or so conventional wisdom would hold. I am what is sometimes called a pureblood, though no Asari would ever be cruel enough to say the word to my face. It is a great insult among my people. It is possible Benezia's partner was embarrassed by their union. She may have been too ashamed to publicly acknowledge me as her offspring.
Maybe she wanted to meet you but couldn't. Maybe something could have happened to her. Maybe she passed away.
You might be right. I hope you are. But I have no way to know for sure. Benezia never spoke of her partner. Whatever happened, it caused her too much pain to dwell on it. She raised me by herself, though that is not uncommon. Many Asari raise their children alone, particularly if the father species is short-lived. Often the partner will pass on long before the child reaches maturity.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
Wait,
I get the
can
feeling you
we
want to ask me
talk
something,
about her?
Commander.
Tell me about yourself, Liara.
Me? I am afraid I am not very interesting, Commander. I spend most of my time on remote digs, unearthing mundane items buried in long-forgotten Prothean ruins.
Sounds dangerous. And lonely.
Sometimes I would run afoul of indigenous life forms or stumble across a small band of mercenaries or privateers, but I was always careful. Until the Geth followed me to Artemis Tau. I never found myself in any situation my biotics could not handle. As for the solitude, well, that is one aspect that most appealed to me. Sometimes I just need to get away from other people.
You don't like other people?
I suppose it comes from being a matriarch's daughter. People expected me to follow in Benezia's footsteps. They wanted me to become a leader of our people. Matriarchs guide their followers into the future. They seek the truth of what is yet to come. Maybe that's why I became so interested in the secrets of the past. It sounds so foolish when I say it out loud. It sounds like I became an archaeologist simply to spite Benezia.
All children rebel against their parents. It's a natural part of growing up.
Aha, you share the wisdom of the matriarch, Shepard. That is exactly what Benezia said when I told her of my decision. But there was more to it than that. I felt drawn to the past. The Protheans were these wondrous, mysterious figures. I wanted to know everything about them. That is why I find you so fascinating. You were marked by the beacon on Eden Prime. You were touched by working Prothean technology.
Sounds like you want to dissect me in a lab somewhere.
What? No, I did not mean to insinuate. I never meant to offend you, Shepard. I only meant that you would be an interesting specimen for an in-depth study. No, that's even worse.
Calm down, Liara. I was only joking.
Joking? Oh, by the goddess, how could I be so dense? You must think I am a complete and utter fool. Now you know why I prefer to spend my time in the field with data disks and computers. I always seem to say something embarrassing around other people. Please, just pretend this conversation never happened.
I should go.
Goodbye, Shepard.
But that's interesting. So like, Asari don't really identify as like female or male. I guess they're kind of like non-binary in a way. Ah, there's one more.
Commander, do you have a minute?
I always make time for my officers.
Off the record, I think there's something wrong here. This Saren is looking for records on some kind of galactic extinction, but we can't get backup from the Council? Sorry, Commander. There's writing on the wall here, but someone isn't reading it.
The Council doesn't want to believe anything's wrong. I'd call it human nature, but...
I hear you. It just seems like a group that's been around as long as the Council should see this coming. I mean, it's funny, we finally get out here and the final frontier was already settled. And the residents don't even seem impressed by the view. Or the dangers.
You wait, I don't... Should we flirt with him or not? Because you have romance options in this game. But I only know there are 3, so you have Kate, Ashley, and Liara. And you can only romance Caden if you're a female Shepard. You can only romance Ashley if you're a male Shepard. And Liara you can do with both genders. I think I'm gonna choose Liara.
Well, well. You're a romantic. Did you sign on for the dream, Malenko? Secure a man's future in space?
This is still romantic.
Yeah, I read a lot of those books when I was a kid, where the hero goes to space to prove himself worthy of a woman he loves, or, you know, for justice. Well, maybe I was a romantic in the beginning, but I thought about it after brain camp. Biotic acclimation and temperance training.
Or maybe we can also... Or
I just want to do some
only
good.
romance Caden. Let me know what you guys
if
want.
I got too informal.
Caden
Protocol
or
wasn't a big focus back
Liara.
Tell me about it.
Biotic acclimation and temperance didn't last past the airlock. To the kids they hauled in, it was brain camp. Sorry, hauled in is unkind. We were encouraged to commit to an evaluation of our abilities so an understanding of biotics could be compiled. There are worse results of accidental exposure to element 0 in the womb. Beats the brain tumors some kids grew up with.
Is there some question about how you were exposed?
My mother was downwind of a transport crash. It was before there were human biotics, a little after the discovery of the Martian ruins. It only gets iffy around 63 when Kinetics was running out of first-gen subjects. Until then, they'd relied on accidentals. bunch of guys in suits show up at your door after school, and next thing you know, you're out on Jump Zero.
Jump Zero is Gagarin Station, right? What's it like?
Yeah, that's the official name. Biggest and farthest facility we had for decades. Right on the termination shock, the outer edge of the solar system. It's where they did all the Goose Chase FTL research before we caught on to using mass effect fields. It was a sterile research platform when I was there.
There were other kids in the same boat, right? At least you weren't alone out there.
That's true. We did have a little circle that'd get together every night before lights out. We didn't have much to do, though. It was a research platform then, and Kinetics kept Jump Zero off the extranet to prevent leaks.
And you must have had plenty of time to get to know each other.
Yeah, we'd sit around and bull every night after dinner, play cards or network games. There was this girl named Rana, who had a little circle grow up around her. She was from Turkey. Her family was very rich. But she was smart and charming as hell. Beautiful, but not stuck up about it. Like you, I guess. Ma'am.
Sounds like she was special to you.
She was. Maybe she felt the same. But things never felt together. Training, you know.
You know of any intentional exposures for certain?
No one knows. Doesn't mean they didn't happen. As big as the exposures were, it was hard to track down accidentals. It was different then. No one knew the potential, so there wasn't a lot of regulation. Anything Kinetics did was gold. I'm not saying they intentionally detonated drives over our outposts, but in retrospect, they were damn quick on the scene.
Jump Zero's a long way from home. What was it like?
The grand gateway to humanity looks a lot better in the vids. Anyway, this was supposed to be a casual debrief, not a bull session about stuff that happened years ago.
We have to depend on each other in combat. I like knowing what kind of man I have at my back.
I understand, ma'am. I won't let you down. You, make a habit of getting this personal with everyone?
Of course. But I don't enjoy it with everyone. We'll talk again later.
I'll need
I don't
some time
understand
to process that, Commander.
Romance that well in the first game.
I'd like that. Anything you need, Commander?
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
I've wasted enough of your time for now, Commander. We'll have time for personal debriefing.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Dr. Tassoni. She seems nice enough. I mean, if you like the bookish sort.
Any intentions there, Lieutenant?
None, Commander. I prefer adventurous women.
We'll talk later, Caden.
I'd like that.
So, we've got Saren on the run.
It won't be long now. Saren's good, but I'm better.
Good. He's rotten. To the core. I could tell as soon as I met him.
Why didn't you tell me this sooner?
I would've if I thought it was important.
I think I'd like to hear about it just the same.
This was a while ago. A bunch of mercs were bragging about a job out near the edges of the Terminus systems. They said it paid well and the boss was never around to ride them. They said he was looking for more men, too. So I checked it out.
I didn't know Saren was openly recruiting mercs.
It wasn't that open, and he only showed his face once. We'd been raiding ships in the area for months when we took out this massive cargo freighter. Our biggest haul yet. I was on board checking bodies for valuables, looking for some extra credits. That's when I saw him.
What did Saren want with the ship?
I don't know what he wanted. He was just moving through the ship, watching. Couple of the mercs called him by name, but he never spoke to them. Never spoke to anyone. I had a really bad feeling about him, so I got the hell out. Didn't even wait to get paid.
What kind of cargo was the freighter carrying? What was Saren after?
I don't know. All I saw on that ship was food and medical supplies. There were some basic weapons, but nothing big. If there was anything of value on that ship, I didn't see it. That's why I didn't mention it sooner.
Whose ship was it?
There was a Volus trading vessel. Big one. Lots of guards. But they were no match for us.
That's the only time you saw him?
Yeah. Didn't even know who he was. Still wouldn't if I hadn't joined up with you. But my instincts were right. Every other merc on that mission turned up dead within a week. Every damn one.
So long, Rex.
Shepard.